Welcome back to another episode of the Block Runner Podcast. I'm your host, William, always here with your co-host, Iman.
What's going on, dude?
On the 6th, we got TJ.
Hello.
All right, on this day, 2 years ago, November 20th, 2023, we have discovered digital matter theory.
Discovered or like officially?
Discovered, dude.
Yeah, I guess why not?
We formulated the language to discover what's been in the blocks for the last 16 years.
Right. So we discovered essentially a language to communicate that
Exactly.
through a framework of sorts. Right?
Using TAP protocol.
Yeah. So you can go back. I think that's our pinned tweet, isn't it? On our Twitter page.
Absolutely. We have not changed that pin. Because if we do, we'd lose this tweet, and then it'd be hard to find.
True. But that is the origin inception moment. We probably should have.
Should have rewatched it.
Yeah. In preparation for this, it's kind of like really.
Actually, let's see what we say in the beginning.
Metazone
Metazone, Rovi, and MScribe. Today, we're dropping digital matter theory. framework.
Actually dropping it, right?
Yeah, it's today, dude.
So we're not just dropping like an AI rendered image in representation of DMT and like talking about it.
Yeah.
We're actually trying to be about it this time, right?
Did we ever drop an AI image of
Remember
this?
the pyramid, the cone?
Oh, yeah.
That was a thumbnail to like the introduction of digital
pyramid
concept.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And we started to look
Remember,
over
this is
like,
my-
some applications.
these are
of it that the days where I really did not appreciate AI slop.
Yeah.
Really,
Well, it wasn't even AI slop at the time. You were just not impressed with AI.
well, yeah. Anything that had a tinge of AI to it, it would always like
because
off-put me.
ChatGPT dropped January 2023, and then
Right.
this was recorded November 2023. And so,
Yeah, I mean the quality has improved significantly since then.
yeah.
But even back then, I was like, man, I don't know. It just gave me like an icky feel. So I was like, yeah.
I remember as soon as I dropped, I was like, you got to pay attention to this.
Yeah. And then we did. And then we found Potensor.
Yes.
And then what else? Found a bunch of other like crappy things.
A lot of crappy AI things. Yeah.
Yeah. And then whatever. Here we are using the tools on a daily basis. So I'm no longer an AI. What's the
Like
word?
hater? Not hater.
Antagonist?
Yeah. Pessimist.
Pessimist. Cynic.
Cynic.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. AI cynic.
Yeah, I fully embraced it. And look at my laptop, dude. It's all clean.
It was
What the fuck
yeah,
happened to
what
this
happened?
thing, dude?
You went through like a sticker war.
Yeah,
You lost that battle, by the way.
completely. What else? What else was said? I guess
I'll tell you what, there's a lot more gray in that beard this year than last.
2 years ago. Yeah, that's what 2 years of
Yeah. 2
being in
years
these
in the
markets
crypto
will
market.
do to you, dude. Fucking age you quickly. It's pretty brutal, man. I'm not gonna lie. I think there's people out there. I'm seeing the neck memes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
People are questioning. It's like, man, maybe all this was actually really stupid. You know?
Yeah. This is the opposite of Brian Johnson. What he recommends. It's like
No,
stay away from crypto.
this is how
You'll live
you-
10 years longer.
I would, yeah. Definitely don't hinge your like whole existence on something this volatile.
Fickle.
Yeah. Like if your whole like identity is like latched to these charts,
I mean,
you're in for a lot of grays.
unfortunately, that's what it is. That's what it is. Especially if you go to family gatherings.
Right.
They're like, here comes the Bitcoin guy.
Yeah, they're all like looking at you. Oh yeah, how are your bitcoins doing, Johnny? You know, yeah. And like 1 year, it's like going great, right? So like you feel like
Yeah,
you're the man in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the one time it hits 30% losses, you tend not to show up to these things.
yeah. Like, oh, how are you feeling, Johnny? You know, I don't know. It's just yeah, you gotta avoid these situations. But yeah, Thanksgiving is an unavoidable family event.
Yeah, I mean, for us, we start talking about crypto a lot less these days, just because it's already been said.
Yeah, what else can you say? Yeah,
Yeah.
Bitcoin's still there.
Yeah,
You know, fiat's still inflating.
yeah, right.
You know, all the fundamental issues are there. But yeah, I think the discussions will be more like, you know, like fuck, I really feel the pain of the economy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You know, so what do we do about it?
yeah. You were saying that the prime car loan market is feeling the the pain right now.
Well, all markets, yeah, but like little markets they're little signals of, despair are coming to the forefront. It's just hard to like see that whenever, stock valuations are in a continual up and to the right.
Yeah.
So it doesn't paint an actual scope of reality.
It distorts reality. If you're paying attention to these markets, it's like, man, everything is looking great, but when I go outside and I pay for groceries and I pay for rent and I pay for all these things, like I'm left with no money.
Yeah.
It's like, why aren't things not great for me?
Well, it's because if you don't own any of those things that just keep going up, right? You didn't buy Nvidia,
right?
You didn't buy Palantir.
Yeah, well,
you didn't buy gold,
which means that them going up is not an indicator of the society, of the state of things.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Right. which is therefore the distortion where you think it is.
Yeah.
And a lot of these talking heads, they fool you into thinking the market is great when numbers go up, when really it's not.
Well, yeah, because you want the public to think that, right? So that you can get their vote next time around. I mean, we got an election coming next year. If things continue to turn in this direction by the next election, Republicans going to get wrecked, right? Because the whole 2 years they've been in office, it's been like economy go down story. Why would I vote for them again, right? So of course they're going to say like everything's booming like never before. Just look at the charts, right? But the public's smarter than that. They know. It's like, yeah, you could tell me, Nvidia's up 500% since you guys came in office, but what does that do to me? Like, how does that benefit me?
Yeah. So you get better AI.
Yeah. Go fuck yourself, dude. I don't want your AI. I want I. I don't want artificial. I want I. What about I, dude?
Yeah. What about my intelligence?
Yeah. What about me?
What are we going to do about my intelligence?
Yeah. We're not worried about that. If you watch Elon's like future speech.
Yeah.
With Jensen Huang in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, do we have it here? I
don't know.
So
we can watch it later, I guess. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, that's a later thing. But I guess let's get back to DMT and NAT.
Yeah.
Right? Because 2 years.
Yeah, so we got a little video here developed by Blunty.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Look at that.
Is that Mango the pug?
That is Mango.
Dude, it's so cool. Getting
there
down.
We are.
Wow,
the candles.
That looks very demonic, actually. That like NAT.
Yeah. It's good old.
Look at that table. Look at that NAT table to set up though. Look at that. Zoom in on that thing. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, very. All you have to do is like swap out the Royals and Natcats with like. Well, I guess they already kind of are like skeletal. They look like zombies, and there you go. Yeah. I don't know. Somehow they managed to keep it very jolly because it is jolly. Is this? So this is an total AI rendering, right?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. So I suspect it was a bunch of screenshots, generated AI images.
Yeah. And
it was like, okay, have all these people dance.
Yeah. I put out a quote tweet to this, just kind of like, I don't know, commemorate the feel of it and the presence of the little flames throughout. It's like it is kind of like what it feels like after 2 years. There's a communal effort to keep that flame lit because it's not easy to do. I mean, we see the state of all things on ordinals in the Bitcoin ecosystem. I mean, in most cases, there is an absence of any flame, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's very difficult to keep whenever a flame emerges, right?
Yeah.
To keep it from being blown out. I mean, it's one of the toughest challenges in this space. Yeah. But I think we can confidently say, like through the 2 years of existence, I think we've successfully kept it.
Well, I think it's really because it's the fundamentals, right? This isn't some meme where it's like,
right? You
get tired of talking about, whatever, name your meme.
Yeah, let's say $1 billion cat, right? That was a rune.
Mm-hmm.
It's $1 billion cat, right? Let's put on some glasses that look like Bitcoin logos.
Yeah, put it on everything.
Put it on everything. And the goal here, let's get it to $1 billion market cap. I would assume it's $1 billion cat, right?
Yeah.
But it didn't work. It worked until it didn't.
I mean,
So that's like a flame, and then
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's a blown out candle, right?
Yeah, it's just you lose kind of like steam and just energy.
Because there's no fundamentals backing that
Exactly.
the flame itself, right?
Yeah.
And that is unique in that context, right?
Yeah.
Of like, a lit flame 2 years ago. It's had its moments of waning and then reappearing and such, but it's always been fueled by some sort of like fundamental tailwind.
That's right. Yeah.
Which is why I suspect in the future this little flame that can go on a little cake, that's what it's being like perceived as,
Yeah.
can grow and fester into quite the blaze.
Because of the tailwinds.
Yeah, and what the fundamentals that NAT and DMT represent, right? Like, just look at the charts. Can you pull up that chart with the miners? Like, the issue, like the miner profitability is like all-time low or whatever. We have that, right?
Yeah.
No. You might not have it.
No, I think we do.
There it is.
Here
yeah,
it
like
is.
this is the actual reality of what's happening with Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's for Bitcoin news, first of all, it's like context. It says, pour one out for your local Bitcoin miner as hash price hits an all-time low for at $38 per petahash.
Yeah, so explain what hash price means.
So hash price is like if you have a rig that generates a petahash, you can expect income
much
at $38.
Yeah, so then this chart says like, income was
All-time
much
low.
higher previously.
Yeah, so in 2021, yeah, it was at $400. Now it's at $38.
Right. So clearly this is not like a good trend, right? This is not a good state of things.
Yeah, but this, this isn't in a, in a vacuum.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason why I say that is because per petahash, the cost to buy a petahash rig has gone down, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, the cost, the ROI of it is gone down as well because now everyone can get it, right?
Right.
So there's a lot that goes into charts like this. Right. So I don't think it's good enough just to look at it and be like, oh, miners are in like severe pain, but they're absolutely in pain. Right. So this is just
what would
one
be,
of.
Yeah, I guess what would be that thing to keep tabs on, right?
I think to me, the most important thing would be the amount of revenue for miners relative to the market cap.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that percentage is the security intensity, right? So the Bitcoin security intensity, BSI. And so as the market cap grows and the revenues don't grow, we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so largely that's what we're seeing with Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And that's why things like NAT are so important.
Yeah, I would say so. So these are
because NAT is specifically just funding miners. Like it's directly the revenues go up with NAT.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't do anything else besides that.
Right. Yeah, and that is not how NAT originally, came to be.
Yeah, so I think it's important to talk about like the beginning days. So
yeah, why not?
When we launched NAT on November 20th, 2023, which is exactly 2 years ago today, the reason why we launched NAT was because we had to launch a token so that people would pay attention to DMT.
Yeah, digital matter theory, right? This framework that we were talking about.
Yeah.
That's what we put out because we felt like it was, like at the time, I guess, there was quite a lot of exuberance in the space around ordinals and building on Bitcoin, right?
Well, ordinals and meta protocols. There are meta protocols coming out every week.
Yeah, but yeah, so like we were left questioning, there's a lot of like experimentation at the time, like nothing compared to today. And there was like a vibe in the air that, felt like we were innovating in some new direction, right? And then it got us to like actually looking at the state of things, like, okay, feels like there's innovation here because it's on Bitcoin, but like the stuff that's actually being produced, it's like,
yeah, it's nothing
it's
we
really
haven't
nothing
seen.
new.
Yeah.
We're seeing JPEGs all over again.
Yeah.
We're seeing shit coins all over again.
Yep.
So it's like, this really isn't anything new except Bitmap was like actually something objectively new. The idea of utilizing data as a substrate, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then you kind of like trace that underlying value premise to like what the space is. Like ordinals has an element of that too in itself.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Utilizing like the
SAT ID.
Yeah, exactly. Some data component within Bitcoin itself to now generate like a new layer of value. Like that's pretty novel and interesting. It's why ordinals, whenever you read the white paper or whatever, it stood out, right? As like this is a very
I remember when you first showed it to me and I read it, I was like, this is pretty cool, like instantly.
Yeah, just
in the same way that when Batoshi hit us up about Bitmap, instantly we knew there was value here.
Yeah, because that was like right in our lane, right? Metaverse.
Well, yeah, that was like the intersection of our experience.
Yeah, which is why Batoshi hit us up, right?
Yeah.
It's like, this is exactly what you guys are about, right?
Yeah.
So, hopefully you don't fade me the way everybody else has. It's like, all right, you're right, Batoshi. We agree. Like, this is a valuable starting point to something. Like, again, in the constant search of trying to find like that new direction, right?
Yeah.
It's like, the current existing state of the Bitcoin ecosystem wasn't really providing that until we got to that inflection moment. We're like, okay, this is something new. Even rare sats.
Yeah, I was just gonna say rare sats. I haven't heard that term in like at least 6 to 10 months minimum.
Yeah, I mean, they're still there. People, I think, still own them and stuff. But that was another representation of a moment of time where people discovered value from like the data of Bitcoin.
And that's true.
And then extended that into like an actual market.
Yeah,
right?
that's why it's in the DMT Git book.
Yeah. So like all those points, the chronology of all of that, leading up to, all right, let's like add structure to this.
Yeah.
Right. Basically.
Because all those were just, I mean, other than like the ordinal theory, which assigns an ID to the SAT in a chronological order, everything else has just been one-offs. There was no framework to build on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and there was no collective like alignment either. Like that, this is really like the valuable discovery of the Bitcoin ordinals, Bitcoin meta protocol experiment, right? Nobody really was talking about that or giving that a label.
Yeah.
Except for us, right?
Yep.
It's like, collectively, this discovery of like a new methodology when it comes to manifesting digital substance, like let's give that a name.
Yeah.
So it was like digital matter. It's very, it's kind of like representative of what's happening.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It's like leveraging those thermodynamic properties of Bitcoin that gives it its unwaverable constraints to like building digital stuff.
Yeah.
In the same way, like in our world, physics is that. It's these unwaverable constraints. Like we all have to align in our like progression of a species to physics.
They're laws.
Yeah, these are the unmovable laws. And Bitcoin is the only thing that seems unmovable.
Yeah.
Or at least like the data within it. Like you can't tamper with that, right?
Yeah.
So it's like digital matter theory made sense, DMT. And it just sounds cool.
Yeah, DMT, It's just the fortunate acronym was just very memey, I guess.
Right.
It was just attractive, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, you always got to consider that, right? Because, no matter how good an idea is, or you think it is, you need other people to agree with you, right? That's kind of like what marketing is about.
Like if it was just like CBG, like it's just
what is that?
It's just random.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
CBG 9627 protocol.
Yeah.
It's like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to like tickle something in your brain, right? Oh yeah, DMT. I like drugs, I want to get high. It's like, but then you look into it. Oh, you're not talking about that. You're talking about something totally new, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we get those comments every now and then on YouTube and Twitter. It's like, oh, I thought you guys were talking about the drug DMT.
Exactly. We hooked you.
Yeah.
That's kind of the idea, right?
Yeah.
We hooked you in to watch the video or to read the paper or to, explore the market, shit like that, right? That's kind of the point. And then same thing with NAT, non-arbitrary token. It's like, it's familiar to non-fungible token.
NFT.
Right? Yeah, so it's like, it's tickling your brain. This feels like something I should look at because I've heard of NFTs, right? So is this like something similar? Is it not? Right. But it's similar, but it's different. It's NAT, but it's non-arbitrary token. So like it explains like a whole new concept.
Yeah.
In like one little neatly packaged acronym.
Yeah, and a side effect of it, NAT being so like dynamic in terms of vocabulary that it was just we created a new language.
Yeah,
that was just so beneficial from a marketing standpoint because you can't say the same things over and over again. You need to come up with new ways to say the same thing.
True.
And so injecting NAT as part of the vernacular allows us to be creative. And the community ran with it.
Yeah, again, it's another alignment device, right?
Yeah.
If we're all speaking literally our own native tongue.
Yeah.
This is how you build like actual, allegiance with one another. So, all these things occurred over a 2-year time frame, including some of the that's an unexpected thing, and then also like the emergence of UNATs.
That's right. Yeah.
Which are unique non-arbitrary tokens. Which
so at the time we launched NAT and it was intended to be a fungible token, but we knew that you could make the mint inscriptions into assets themselves because up to that point, mint inscriptions were just thrown away.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you minted Ordi, the mint itself inscription was useless. And so we were like, why make those useless? Why don't you make them into actual assets? So that way, when you mint the NAT, you got the mint of the NAT, which is an asset, and then you had the fungible tokens, which is account-based fungible tokens.
Yeah.
And so we knew that you could change that into an actual art project, but we didn't finish the Gitbook in time to outline what that would look like. And then EV came along. He was like, well, let's just leverage that and let's tie this script to each mint of each block.
Right.
And then you got Natcats.
Yeah, which was like one of the coolest things, realizations, right? Like when you first showed it to me.
Yeah.
I like instantly knew this was going to be like a big deal.
Yeah.
Right. Just because like just going to the Natcat viewer page.
Yeah.
Because he released his Gitbook with all the traits documented and stuff. And the pattern rarities and such, but also there was like, the viewer where you could just scroll through and see all the different, permutations of a Natcat, and it changed based on the block height. And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Another, bitmap moment where like, this is totally new.
That's
like a new feeling. Yeah. Right. And the fact that this is why DMT seems very important, right? As like a vector that needs to be continually pushed, so we can expand those boundaries, so we can keep discovering moments like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a bitmap or a Natcat or a NAT token in itself, whatever. Right. Because who knows what else is out there as far as like discovering cool, little feature use cases out of like this new substrate material. Right. The patterns on Bitcoin.
Yeah. So we launched DMT and NAT basically the same day, and it blocked out in 7 days, which was surprising and extremely really fast. So it required essentially 20,000 people to mint 750,000 blocks, whatever it was at the time.
Yeah, not just, there wasn't like, I guess eventually there became a mint button, but initially there was no like mint button.
It was literally JSON that you would just inscribe into Bitcoin, and then you'd have to make sure that the block that you were inscribing didn't already exist. So you had to do that effort and research to figure that out.
Yeah, otherwise you're just burning money.
Yeah.
Burning Bitcoin, right? Which, very valuable stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot of work. It's not like your typical, TGE.
No.
Right? Or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and this is a completely free and fair mint. There's no way to allocate to a team or allocate to VCs or KOLs or anything like that.
At all, yeah. It was literally just, here's the Gitbook, here's the section in it that tells you how to mint NAT.
And then that was it.
That was it. Hopefully you were paying attention at the time. You had 7 days to take notice.
Yeah.
And to be part of that mint experience. But yeah, the Ordinals wallet stepped in like day 2 or 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3, yeah.
With like a full interface.
Yeah.
And that's when things really accelerated.
Yeah.
Right? Of course.
Yeah. Yeah. So it went really fast. And this was November 20th. So the week after was Thanksgiving, and I think both of us got sick, or at least one of us got sick.
No, we were all sick that whole week.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, like it blocked out. We're like, oh shit, like whoa, how did that happen? And then we came back and recorded it. It's like,
yeah,
I guess that happened.
Maybe we talked about DMT or NAT one more time in that week, just one more time. It was like a 20-minute video.
Yeah,
and
Maybe I think we had to do like a COVID edition or something.
I think we did a Zoom call.
Yeah, Zoom call.
Oh, right.
Yeah, we were quarantined.
Yeah.
We were both sick, and I was just like, yeah, we got to say something, right? Because this thing is like exploding before our eyes. So I phoned it in with the tissue box next to me and everything, you know. It's like, guys, are you seeing this? So, no, we're just clinging on to life.
You know what's
basically.
interesting is that when something is exploding, it's hard to notice explosion, like when you're that close to it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, reality it's hard to really gauge, right?
Yeah.
In certain moments.
I was like, is this supposed to happen, guys?
Yeah.
Is this normal, or does everybody go through this?
Yeah, I mean, the conditions were definitely primed for it to happen, right? Like, again, this was pre-runes, so like the ecosystem of ordinals wasn't like ruined yet, essentially. And then it's, again, following bitmap success, like, you know, which took a month to block out.
Yeah.
So it's like, here's another block out attempt.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, it worked before. The conditions are still okay enough. Like, you know, Casey and Leonidas and those guys still haven't like converted everyone's minds to rune mode yet.
Yeah.
So it's like we're still experimenting with ordinals, right? So like, you know, the vibes were there.
Yeah.
It all worked out, right? Timing was seemingly perfect for this to happen.
Yeah. Pre-runes was the beginning of the end for ordinals.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I mean. Everybody's mentals, like their innovation spirits were guided over there.
Yeah.
As opposed to you know, again, we have a new substrate here, native to ordinals and all this stuff. Let's build this out first and see what we can get from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But we did the runes thing instead. Basically went to zero.
Yeah.
I would say it's pretty close too, if not.
Yeah. So it started with pre-runes, and that was the beginning of the end. And then on April 2024, that's when it halved. And then you saw the huge spike on fees.
Yeah.
Like the biggest spike ever in Bitcoin.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all that was happening. We were still sticking to our guns, right? It's like, you know, Royals
Rolls
was in
like
in
a week after the halving.
Yeah. Well, everyone was focused on runes, and like we were building out the whole Blockpad privilege authority
That's right.
minting system, right?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, if anybody was able to participate, like that was, again, truly a unique, brand new experience.
100%.
So yeah, Runes has produced nothing in the realms of anything like that.
Nope.
No new experience.
Nope.
No new anything, right? Only from the sector of DMT have like new things actually emerged.
Yeah.
Right? I can confidently say that because I've been watching it all.
Yeah.
Right. Even though people, you know, think they were partaking in some like new paradigm, you were not. You were just being misled. There's a lot of misleading forces out there, guys.
Yeah, I agree.
And a lot of us are starting to come to realization of that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So so the Blockpad was interesting because this is the first time you had multiplayer minting.
Yeah.
Multiplayer.
If we don't have whatever. If you're there, if you know, you know, right? The videos exist on our channel.
Yeah, you have to go back.
But explain what you mean by player versus player.
So imagine a grid of orange squares. And within that grid, it's essentially a room that we all enter into the same room. And your cursor ended up being the player in the room. So you could see other cursors in that minting interface.
Mm-hmm.
And so people would compete with each other to click on a block to own it and pay for it.
Right.
And but the point is, you could see thousands of other players clicking on blocks.
Yes, in real time.
In real time, yeah.
And you could even like spam emojis while you're just
like,
floating around on the Blockpad field.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. I mean, imagine if you took it a step further. It's like you can actually invoice chat. You know, it would have probably been.
And then eventually in world.
Yeah, that was the whole kind of the scope of the vision, right? It's like, you know, we'll start here in 2D cursor mode.
Yeah.
But even that is like very stressing on the systems.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Which again, if you guys participated, you understand, right? There was a lot of technical issues with this product rollout, right? But still the experience was worth it. You know, Royals did block out. I don't remember how long that took.
I think it was over a week just because we had a lot of technical issues.
Yeah, we did it in phases, right?
Yeah.
And that was like part of the new features of PrivAuth is like you can actually implement like mint phases based on different parameters.
There's no way for some sniper to get your mint.
Yeah, so there was like 4 or 5 different phases based on like a whitelist. So yeah, it made DMT minting feel more like
traditional.
Traditional, compatible with like, you know, the actual market of NFTs, right?
Yeah.
And that was kind of the point, because prior to that, it was very much, you know, Wild West.
Yeah.
And then things like, you know, sniper bots and all this other shit started kind of infiltrating. And
and to this day, I think the Royals is I think the most widely distributed NFT collection on Ordinals. It has like 7,000 holders.
Yeah, that's crazy for a 10K collection.
Yeah,
that's wild. Yeah, so that was another big breakthrough experience, and that was a lot of work. Brutal.
Yeah,
that was a brutal sprint just to kind of execute on that.
That was really tough.
Yeah. And then, so what's happened since then?
That's
like the year and a half mark. So it was like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah. So when Natcats popped off, Royals, there was, you know, DMT Chaos. There was a bunch of NFTs launching, UNATs launching, I should say.
Right. Yeah.
And then we weren't paying attention to NAT for a while.
That's true. Yeah, because of all that, right?
Because of all that, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we weren't paying attention to Nat, and then I think at some point down the line we got on a call with Rome.
Yeah, it's like, you know, people in the community are, you know, shining light on these. You say, hey, you know, similar issue as Bitmap. You know, these 2 collections or whatever.
Yeah, they're being botted,
and they've been in that botted state for more than a year now.
Mm-hmm.
So they're, you know, entities out there just accruing a large concentrated supply.
Yeah.
And like nothing's being done about that. So like if this continues on into the future, you know, isn't this like an issue?
Yeah.
So it's like, we should start thinking about that, right?
Yeah. So I mean, they would say that, and it's like, you know, what do you do about it? You know, it's like, what can you do?
Well, yeah. Well, we came up with what to do solution, right?
Not only did we come up with something to do about it, but it was addressing a problem that wasn't obvious to us.
Yes.
And that problem was really highlighted through Rome.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, hey, why don't we direct future NATs to miners instead?
Yeah, so I was like, why?
Why would we do that?
Yeah, we were as oblivious as everybody else.
Yeah.
It took a miner to kind of like shine the light.
Yeah.
Hey, us miners over here are like, you know, in a struggling state of things. It's like,
what do you mean you're struggling?
Yeah, isn't that like a problem? You
know?
Yeah.
It's like, you're a Bitcoin miner. How are you struggling? It's Bitcoin, right?
Right. And then so that got us like really like looking underneath the skirt of it all.
Under the hood, yeah.
Of Bitcoin. It's like, holy shit, dude. There's a story here.
I remember back in the day, maybe when we even started the podcast, I would look at Bitcoin deeply, and I was like, it halves, and the price is sort of sustaining the network, so that the price has to double, right? So it just has to. Like there's no other way Bitcoin works unless it doubles every 4 years. I was under that impression in 2019. I was like, okay, this is a pretty good asset to invest in because it has to double.
Yeah.
But I didn't do the math like long term. Had I done the math, I was like, guys, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, you just bought into the Kool-Aid basically.
Yeah, I mean, because it requires actual fundamental analysis, like actual calculations.
Yeah. Yeah, the math ain't mathing anymore.
No,
right?
it didn't math.
It didn't. You just
10 years ago, and it doesn't math 10 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's an unrealistic expectation, in other words. It is that blind faith-based, you know, security model, I guess, or that we talk about a lot. And it's so
but not until so imagine we discovered this problem 10 years ago, and like we were well aware of it. And I think people were aware of this problem, the security budget issue 10 years ago. Like they could project that this would be a problem.
And they have.
And they have.
Yeah.
It's just that it wasn't a problem rearing its head, obviously, for those 10 years.
Yeah, don't look up, right?
Yeah. So now we're at today. the 2-year anniversary of DMT NAT, and we saw $125,000 Bitcoin, and today it's at 86,000.
Yeah, let me check on that. It might be like 70 by now. Let's see. No, you're right. It's 86.
86 right now.
Very scary red candles.
So we're at 33% down.
And minor
profitabilities
at all-time lows.
I think in like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Or less.
Whenever
October
Core V30 was implemented, that was basically the
That
start
was
of the
October
end.
1st.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the beginning of the end, basically.
So we are 6 weeks.
Yeah. 6-7 weeks, something like that. Basically down from there.
Yeah. So where were we going? Okay, so we're at $125,000 Bitcoin. Now we're at 86.
Yeah.
And in this cycle, Bitcoin has not performed. Like people were expecting 150 plus, and we didn't get relatively close to that. And
yeah, we didn't penetrate into that zone deep enough for this faith-based, assumption, I guess, to kind of continue on.
To kick the can down the road.
Yeah, where it's like basically we feel comfortable in our complacency, right?
Yeah.
I'm starting to see a lot more chatter on crypto Twitter. People like identifying the subsidy problem organically because they're looking at the chart and they're looking at these new trends of like all-time low profitabilities. And then if you like add all this together and understanding, hey, miners are dependent solely on the value of Bitcoin in the relative context of each halvening down the line.
Yeah.
So because fees are not factored in at all.
It's less than 1%.
Yeah, like fees have never kicked in. It's hard to imagine a reality where it can kick in.
Bitcoin is a terrible user experience.
Yeah. Terrible. Right. So eliminate fees from like that dynamic, right?
Yeah.
So it's purely dependent on the price of Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin becomes this underperforming asset, which right now it's teetering on the cliff of becoming, who knows where it actually ends up. It could rally from here because of, I don't know, geopolitical forces.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, it could.
But nonetheless, it's pinging those receptors in the brain of caution. We're in like, danger territory. Something should be done about this.
Yeah, so let me try to explain why this is a problem. So if Bitcoin doesn't double, like Bitcoin doesn't break, you can still use Bitcoin, and miners just turn off the rigs. That means hash power goes down a little bit, and hash power is just a representation of how big the pie is. So the pie is 1.2 zeta hashes big.
Right.
So then miners turn off some of their rigs. Now it's like 1 zeta hash, or let's say 800 petahashes, or etahashes, I should say. And just the pie just gets smaller, but that doesn't mean Bitcoin stops working.
Right.
Right. So it's okay that the pie gets bigger and smaller and sort of fluctuates. That's not the problem. The problem is if the pie gets smaller, that means there's less energy consumption. That means that the cost per hash goes down. And the cost per hash goes down means the cost of attack goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And when the cost of attack goes down, then it's a higher probability that Bitcoin gets attacked.
Right.
And attack can come in different ways, right? It could be a bribe, it could be some nation state, it could be Foundry or via BTC or one of those guys just turning on Bitcoin one day. But why would they do that if they already have the infrastructure? And it doesn't matter why they would do that. The problem is they have a chance to do that.
Yeah, and I guess to us, I mean, just off of the sound fundamentals of digital currency, which is what Bitcoin is supposed to be. That's like its origin interpretation of value.
Yeah.
Still being carried along today, but more so a store of value in real application. But to us, in the context of what it is we're trying to do by, building fundamental grounds through this framework of DMT, in the hopes of a continuation of, manifesting digital reality off of this new substrate. Like we said, if it's some sort of digital parallel to like, the physical reality where we have this unwavering law of constraints, like you can't have moments like this where like the fabric of Bitcoin itself is ever in question.
No,
right?
you can't. It's like questioning physics. Like,
yeah, you can
test against it, but Unless you have an experiment that really contradicts some sort of understanding in physics, which some other scientist has to verify, then you don't question physics. You just use it.
Right.
And if you're questioning the digital physics, right, the thermodynamic properties of Bitcoin's network, that is a problem.
Yeah, it's like a non-starter to this new discovered application of Bitcoin, right? So it's like we're incentivized here to contribute to this security, the securitization of Bitcoin in order to uphold, this structure of immutability that is like a prerequisite to have any semblance of digital physics, right? Which we think is like a necessary component to anything related to metaverse.
Yeah.
Anything related to actual like intrinsic value in the digital sense.
Yeah, having true scarcity for the first time ever in humanity.
Yeah, that's not arbitrary.
Yeah.
Right. It's like the whole thesis is dependent on Bitcoin not having these vectors of this
doubt.
Doubt. Yeah. So that means all these things that are going down need to go in an upward trajectory.
Yeah. So the optimal profile of Bitcoin should be that there is no way an attack could occur. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's sufficiently decentralized. And if you go look at how many miners are contributing to block additions to Bitcoin's chain, there's 31. 31 since February 2024. Is that sufficiently decentralized? I don't think so. And so we need sufficient decentralization. We need the revenues for miners to go up.
Yes.
In relation to the value of the network.
Right.
That's how you can sustain a $200 or $400 trillion network, as Jack Mallers, as Michael Saylor, as these like big talking heads talk about how this is a $500 trillion asset. You cannot secure a $500 trillion asset with $30 billion in revenue.
Correct.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
So you need a revenue that is consistent and has a relationship to the value of the network. Because if you don't do that, it will get attacked. Imagine attacking a $500 trillion network with $15 billion. It's nothing.
Right.
So Bitcoin actually has a real problem. And now, because Bitcoin right now is at $86,000, and if you do the math on inflation adjusted, we're below all-time highs from 2021.
Yeah, and gold adjusted, right?
Well, and gold adjusted, yeah, we are below. Yeah, we are that. Yeah,
we're either below or actually we are below. I think we did achieve parity at all-time high, but then now we're below. So
that's true. Good point. Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
So everything is smoking Bitcoin, pretty much everything. Which doesn't feel good, right? You could see it on the timeline. People are not feeling good, and to the point where they're questioning their own convictions, and potentially some of these big giga whales are realigning themselves to Zcash and other forms of cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah,
I mean that's a very dangerous proposition to Bitcoin. Wouldn't you say? Like Bitcoin doesn't exist in a vacuum either, right? So there are competing forces, competing narratives, that could disrupt this value.
Yeah, I mean, I would be concerned about that if the hash power was starting to compete.
Yeah, there's like a lag to that, right? It starts with value. And then hash power will emerge, right? Meaning number has to go up first, which right now in Zcash's case it is. And so it's a question of how long, how high can it go? And then of course hash power can follow.
Yeah.
Right? And then you got some competing forces. It just makes things, more challenging, introduces new dynamics to the, where does the value of Bitcoin go?
Yeah. So this is a good segue to look at the hash power.
Yeah.
Right. So we're looking at Bitcoin's hash power, and then this line down here, which you can't see, it's this colored line.
It's very small.
That is both Zcash and Monero is in there. So this is linear line, so you could see the drastic difference. But let's take a look at the log so that we can actually see the differences here. So when you compare Bitcoin's hash rate versus Monero or Zcash, we're talking about a quintillion times difference in hash power.
Yeah.
And so once these values start, coming closer, then we got a real cause for concern here.
Yeah. I would say. I think, yes.
So remember we were talking about the people who are misaligning? Misleading? Yeah. Yeah, I think those people are misleading here.
For sure. Well, because it becomes in their favor, right?
Yeah.
If they hold like huge bags of this.
Yeah.
Like the Winklevi.
Yeah, and so there's a place for privacy tokens, obviously. This is a good thing that they exist. And it would be very unlikely that a privacy token overtakes the value proposition of a Bitcoin because of the hash rate. And but it can, right? There's nothing like in the physical realm that can prevent that from happening.
Yeah.
But then you're dealing with other dynamics, right? Zcash has like a team supply, right? There's different dynamics happening here than
For
Bitcoin.
Sure. Yeah. So in the context of, again, DMT, what it is, we feel we've discovered some new fundamental value, some new methodology, whatever, and we think that has like innate value to it that can be applied ubiquitously among like the whole cryptocurrency landscape. So in the context of that, just looking at the potential nesting grounds of this framework, I mean, obviously it makes the most sense to be deployed through Bitcoin, right? Because it has this like, as of today, monopoly market share of like thermodynamic security, thermodynamic backed security. So that's what gives us, again, the closest representation of a digital, unwaverable constraint, fields of constraint, right? Parallel physics. So we have, again, a large vested interest in maintaining that. Because, we can't build like digital substance and, proliferate this whole new paradigm or methodology, whatever, off of something that like skews in the other direction over time. Like it loses that. So it makes sense for NAT to be directed directly to
the revenues of miners.
The actual entities responsible for upholding all of this.
Yeah.
Right? And for whatever reason, it seems like among the Bitcoin community, like that is like the most forgotten aspect.
I don't know why that is. I don't know why that is. Like you go into the Bitcoin community, the least thing that they talk about are the Bitcoin miners.
Yeah, and in some cases they actually like scoff at them and like, yeah, good, they dying, fuck them.
Yeah, makes no sense. Michael Saylor has even said that, not in those words. But basically,
not yet.
Basically, Michael Saylor is telling, up and coming Bitcoin miners, don't buy any rigs. Instead, just buy Bitcoin. Yeah. Don't get that asset that depreciates 30% over a year, right? The thing that secures the network. Don't buy that. Buy Bitcoin instead.
Correct.
It's odd behavior.
I would agree. Again, and then that to us, it's like, what the hell, dude? You're like literally veering away from the fundamentals. Yeah. And it's a potentially a grave mistake. Like if enough people like, heed that, again, misdirection of advice. Yeah. So
I've been watching Voscoin because I like his lifestyle. I think it's pretty cool. He's got land. He's got
chickens.
He's growing food.
I'm in.
And and then he's got solar panels and he's got rigs there mining all different kinds of cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin, Doge, and others. Yeah. And his latest videos are like, guys, this is really hard and things are not working. Everybody keeps talking about memes, and like the dream of mining is like withering away. And people don't seem to see this as a problem. Like it's weird. When it is the fundamental thing that is the single most important thing to Bitcoin, and we have Bitcoin miners struggling.
Yeah, I think it's because it's just easier to ignore reality, and that's like a very
common
human
occurrence.
Behavioral trait. Yeah, when in the face of dangers, just pretend it doesn't exist, so it doesn't disrupt my experience. Right, I don't want to live under the stress of like knowing things. It's red pill, blue pill, right? I want to be ignorance in blissful state. I want to eat that steak, dude. And
Yeah,
know it's
sometimes, I do wish I've taken the blue pill, dude.
well, you keep eating more red pills, dude. Stop that. And we're eating them with you.
Yeah, it sucks, dude. I want that steak again.
Grays, dude. This is where they come from. Yeah, I want to be munching on some steaks and like just kicking back.
Going to parties. Not this guy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be this guy at parties anymore, dude.
Yeah, dude. Not even like just enjoying a nice sport or two.
Yeah.
That's cool, isn't it? You can't even do that anymore, dude.
Yeah.
It's like just like the simple things.
Yeah, I can't watch sports anymore. You're right. I just can't do it.
You've poisoned your mind.
Yeah.
You've soiled your experience here on Earth forever.
Yeah.
Right? And then that's what people don't want to do.
I feel that. I feel that.
Because it's comfortable. Just being able to kick back in your lazy boy chair, sipping on your natty lights after work and like nothing, there's no problems anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm fucking still alive. I'm happy about that. It's good enough for me.
What a dream.
What a dream.
All I see is problems, dude.
Me too. It's horrible. It's like the worst existence ever, dude. But imagine Elon. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The problems that he sees.
he said it. You don't want to be him. You don't want to experience what he experienced in his brain.
Yeah.
I believe him.
Must be torture. Because not only does he see them, but he's like actively
He's
working
doing something
to solve all of them.
Yeah.
He's got companies in place to like address all these problems he's like identified in his brain.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to like tackle one of these problems. We think it's a big problem.
Yeah, I agree.
I think what we just talked about is worth working to, in some capacity, solving, right? And in the sense of, Tesla is some attempt at solving, the problems that he identified.
Yeah.
15 or 20 years ago.
Yeah, and just so we'll play the little clip, but he talks about putting the satellites, AI satellites into space, and I think in the future, a lot of these Bitcoin miners are going to put Bitcoin mining satellites into space. Mm-hmm. Why do that? Is because it's really cold in space. You can radiate heat, and therefore you're not spending any electricity or any money on cooling these chips anymore. So now these satellites have infinite energy because the sun, it's not blocked by clouds or anything like that. You have 100% uptime, and you're just like launching these satellites just to power independent money. Like, that's pretty cool. So that is for sure going to happen, but it's not going to happen if Bitcoin miners don't have a way to sustain themselves, right? And Bitcoin is not going to double forever. And so now we're starting to see that. So going back to NAT a little bit, so we spoke with Rome, and we're like, okay, we see you, Rome. We see the problem. I think this is a good idea. At worst case, right, we send NAT to the miners. The worst case is they never acknowledge it. Mm-hmm. And that means that the supply essentially is locked, right? It's just being vaporized to the miners because they will ignore it. So that's kind of cool. So if that's the worst case, let's do it. The best case scenario is all the miners wake up to it, and they start talking about NAT, and it sends to $1 trillion, and they have a second revenue stream that doesn't rely on Bitcoin doubling, and it doesn't rely on fees for Bitcoin. We're like, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And so and Benny agreed. He was like, yeah, let's run it.
Yeah, I think so. It again introduces new layers of fundamentals to this already existing coin. Like, it already had significance in its origins, right? Off of the backing of like everything that happened with UNATs, like real market demand and value was created out of that. So
just to add to what you're saying, when 20,000 people minted NAT, I think it generated about maybe between $3 and $5 million in fees. The $3 to $5 million went to Bitcoin miners.
Right.
It was just a transaction fee.
Yeah.
Right.
Which at the time was actually kind of high.
It was kind of high. I remember we were debating whether or not we should launch it at a 22 sats per VByte. It was like 17 to 22, hovering within that range. I was like, dude, we got to run it, man.
It's true.
We just got to
do it.
Just do it.
Just let it rip. I was like, no, dude, no. Let's wait.
People are poor. Let's get them, a chance.
You're like, no, fuck that, dude. I was like, all right, whatever, man. And then we got sick.
Yeah.
And then it worked.
Yeah, and when we launched it, I remember. So we pushed the launch of the video, which meant that it was public, and then we were sitting there for hours minting our own supply, like minting our own token.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was tough because, first of all, we were minting the wrong JSON structure.
Yeah, I remember that.
Like we had like early blocks,
Yeah.
and they were all like wasted.
Yeah,
Because the JSON that we put in the Git book was wrong.
right. And then we swapped it all out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, I think whoever was in Benny's Discord, I think,
Yeah.
like those were the ones who had like the earliest access to knowledge.
Yeah.
I think even we didn't have
No.
that. We were late to the game. I think the earliest block I managed to claim was 24, which is still pretty bad.
That's pretty good. I mean, that's
Kobe.
Nice.
But that was it.
Yeah, I don't think I got any early blocks.
Yeah.
But I knew at the time these are fungible tokens. I actually didn't care about early blocks, so I was fine with it.
It's just the significance, right? Of like,
Yeah.
you know, the artifact of, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
block 24, dude.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it worked out, and
So $3 to $5 million went to the miners. The immaculate like a generation of this like entire supply. You had 20,000 people holding the token. $3 to $5 million went to miners anyways. Then on block 885588, we turned on the miner redirect functionality that Benny developed. And on that block, the first miner who mined that block 885588 was Antpool, which is an anagram for NAT pool.
that's pretty strange. Very simulation theory.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that was in February 2025. We've only been like 8 months,
Something like that.
like 9 months.
9 months.
And so we had Antpool mine the first block. Then Antpool was the first to recognize,
Yeah, actually sell some.
actually sell some on Ordinal's wallet.
Yeah, which is, you know, an ordeal, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's some actual interaction with the TAP protocol required
Yeah.
to transfer and liquidate, right?
Yeah.
And it kind of like, so there was like a 5-6 month lag between,
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't even that long.
probably about 5 months before like any miner actually like took notice of it, and which was like, you know, the initial, I don't know, FUD, if you will. It's like, dude, unless miners actually like give a fuck, like this thing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you directed it to them,
Yeah.
right? Until they actually like take notice of it and take like ownership of it and like
Do something. Yeah.
do something with it, then you've got nothing.
Yeah.
But Antpool started that, and it cascaded into
Yeah.
now several miners.
Yeah, so Antpool was first, and then Spiderpool was next.
Yeah.
And Spiderpool is integrating NAT into their dashboard so that the pool contributors can extract Bitcoin and NAT.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that was F2 Pool.
Right.
Same thing, right?
Yeah. So we've got solid. So here at the
And
10-year
that,
mark-
by the way, that's 40% of hash power. Remember this chart here? Let's go back to linear. This is 40% of this
right.
is recognizing the second subsidy of Bitcoin.
Yeah. So this is what I mean by adding these new layers of fundamentals to an already important asset, right? NAT being the first, non-arbitrary creation birthed from this new framework that is, again, hinged and utilizing these thermodynamically secured properties of Bitcoin that you can't get on any other chain. So you can't really like feasibly experiment down this avenue anywhere else other than Bitcoin, right? So again, like, and the whole reasoning behind that is achieving these new discoveries out of this, right? In the same sense of Bitmap, Natcat, Blockpad, Mint experiences, all these new things that are objectively new things that are being produced. They might not be massively appreciated yet or massively aware, just like awareness of them.
Yeah, the misleading factor.
Yeah, because market forces, there's forces that have control over like what it is, people actually get to take notice of, right? Right now it's clearly like forcefully putting people's face in front of Zcash.
Yeah.
Privacy coins and other things like this, right? But a year from now, I promise you.
Yeah.
We're not even like maybe a month from now.
Yeah.
Who knows? Typically, it's like a week from now. I promise you, they won't be looking at that. Right?
No, they won't. Yeah, I mean, if people are looking at privacy coins, well, eventually they're going to look at DAGs. And there's a bunch of old DAGs out there that are going to resurface, and that's going to be the new paradigm, the new flashy thing.
Yeah, I'm expecting the next like forceful head, pivot is going to be like quantum resistant chains.
Yeah,
because all of a sudden you got Vitalik and all these other big bringers out there sounding the alarm bells on quantum.
Yeah, quantum is a real thing, and it's a real threat, but it's a real threat to the entire infrastructure of humanity, not just Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. It's everything. And so everything is going to need an update, everything.
Yeah, but because, certain talking heads, whoever has the firm grip on the invisible hand, they're telling you that, we need to be more urgent with our
I agree with
preparations. Now it's like there's a sector out there actually that has been.
It's like we have a quantum resistant blockchain over here. So then you're going to see the number go up because people are talking about quantum, who nobody really understands what it is. For the most part, right? Nobody understands what it is, but I hear everybody talking about it, and I see blockchains that are already quantum resistant. So I'm just going to buy that token,
pretty much.
But that is meaningless, right? Everything. It's like I was telling you the analogy. It's like back in the 90s when companies started marketing themselves, they were like online. They said that they were online, and then eventually, companies marketing, they didn't say that anymore because everything was online. And the same thing is going to happen with quantum resistance.
Yeah, everything's just built in.
It has to be. Like you cannot exist unless you're using quantum resistant algorithms.
Yeah, but for now, let's get hyped about it and let's send some charts up, right?
Yeah.
So this is just the market we're in. This is how things kind of manifest. And
so
it's purely attention driven.
Yeah. So to kind of close off the podcast is, so what's next for NAT? And so we have a depreciating price in Bitcoin. It's
completely out of our control. We're not doing that. It's not like that was in our roadmap,
it's the block runner guys that dump Bitcoin.
Yeah. It's like they just did that so they could fit within their thesis. It's like, cannot do that, people.
Yeah, we called sailors like, dump it. So I think people are coming to terms that Bitcoin isn't going to double. At least maybe it can for the next 10 years, but there's going to be a point where it cannot. And so if it cannot, and miners rely on Bitcoins as a revenue stream to sustain the security, then if it can't do that, then it needs something else. And so the options are, let's make Bitcoin infinite. Let's make Bitcoin proof of staking infinite. Let's use demarriage where you're taxing Bitcoin holders. Let's take Satoshi's Bitcoin. Like these are all the options that are available. Or NAT, where it doesn't require any consensus changes. It doesn't require any changes at all. As a matter of fact, Bitcoin miners are already receiving it. 40% of the hash power is already recognizing it. All you got to do, if you see the security budget undervalued, then you just buy the token. Just like if you see Bitcoin undervalued, you buy the token.
Right.
It is no different than anything else. And so the psychological benefit of the NAT token is that it makes people rich. Yeah. Every other alternative to making or fixing Bitcoin doesn't make anybody rich.
Yeah. Yeah, and another thing to add into all this is Elon seems to think like currency isn't even like factored into the actual the equations of the future, right? So if he's right, and he tends to be right on most things, this whole value premise to Bitcoin itself is kind of like shaky in its own fundamental state, as what people today and up until today have interpreted Bitcoin, this new digital money thing. So if money no longer has relevancy as a consequence of AI and automation and robotics and all these things that push us into like a state of mass scale abundance where we no longer need to exchange value to actually have value,
to have a society.
Well, where's the value in Bitcoin at all?
Yeah.
Right? So,
hey TJ, how much time do we have left?
Where you should be wrapping up.
Okay. Well, let's watch the 1 minute monologue of Elon talking about money being useless.
Okay.
And if you go out long enough, assuming there's a continued improvement in AI and robotics, which seems likely, the money will stop being relevant at some point in the future. Now, there will still be constraints on power, like electricity and mass. The fundamental physics elements will still be constraints, but I think at some point currency becomes irrelevant.
Jensen, any thoughts?
Deafening silence, dude. Nobody.
Look at his face.
By the way, the NVIDIA earnings call is later today.
And by the way, since currency is relevant.
Cheers.
Elon just wants to share with you some breaking news.
Yeah, so here we are, billionaires on the planet talking about how irrelevant money is going to be.
Yeah.
But that brings up the point. If money is irrelevant, then what's the value of a sovereign money, right? And so we think that Bitcoin has been distorted into what it should be is actually bit power, and it's a physical manifestation of a way to generate or to consume a lot of energy to produce a low entropy state. That's all that it's doing. And that low entropy state is in the form of Bitcoin and the entire blockchain. And so with DMT, we're leveraging it as what it should be, right, as digital matter.
Yes.
And so in order to increase the value proposition of digital matter, it needs to consume more energy. And so if we're going to be a type 2 civilization where we're consuming, the majority of our star power, then a portion of that star power needs to be injected into Bitcoin's network. And then that's how you maintain at least a degree of scarcity, a verifiable scarcity, where our entire universe is abundant with gold and silver and abundant with everything.
Yeah, this is where we start to now bleed into the metaverse space of things. Like why, the underlying theme of this whole channel, our whole existence, I guess, in Web3 has been all roads lead to the metaverse. We still believe that.
Yeah.
Even though the rest of the world probably does not at all and would not understand why that's the case, right? But in order for that to actually come true, you've got to have a starting point of, again, something that is unwaverable, right? I guess not so much like a money system, just like a truth system. I don't know how to really explain it.
Yeah.
Right. But I think Elon's kind of in agreement in a sense. If we're going to eradicate, I guess, the money necessity in our physical world, if we traverse our experience into the digital space, that is a new paradigm where we can kind of extrapolate new value systems from within.
Yeah.
Right? But you've got to be able to do that from the same fundamental grounds that how that originated in our physical existence, right?
Yeah.
So you can't really have that starting point without some semblance of physics in the digital sense. Right?
Yeah.
We think that, so if money no longer has relevance in the future, but that still can, right?
Physics is still going to be relevant in the future.
Yeah.
And digital physics is also going to be relevant in the future.
Yeah, and that's a good motivation to continue the bit power experiment, right?
Yeah.
To continue the consumption of energy.
Yeah. Shout out to Jason Lowry.
Yeah, because that's more in line with this whole vision of where civilization is headed, right?
Yeah.
If civilization is headed towards a reality where money doesn't really have relevance, but energy has tremendous relevance. All the energy is calculated by energy and the consumption of that, and humanity's ability to harvest it, and to put it to good use, which AI is masterfully showcasing.
Yeah,
right? In the digital sense, we need that same parallel, right? We're masterfully harvesting the energy of the universe to create some new value layer, right? It's not AI, it's the metaverse, it's the digital economy, right?
That's music, dude.
Yeah, it's just right now it sounds like dubstep or something, to most people. Yeah, we're talking gibberish here, dude. How do we get it to sound like
We gotta write a book.
Jimi Hendrix? We gotta write a book.
We gotta write a book.
All right, well, that would be nice if we can get to a state where we could just write a book, right?
Yeah. Well, if you guys have been with us for the last 2 years, congratulations. 2 full years. You're still alive, still making it.
Yeah.
And keep searching for the fundamentals because you're able to sleep at night when you're holding fundamentals.
Yes.
And yeah, I guess let's celebrate. Let's pour one out to. Let's take a page out of the book of what's it? Was it Bitcoin Magazine who said this?
I think it was Bitcoin News.
Bitcoin News. Pour one out for your local Bitcoin miner.
Oh man, poor lads.
Yeah.
Pour one out.
Pour one out just because they're struggling and apparently nobody cares about them. But everyone holding NAT, they do care.
When is Thanksgiving? It's like literally next week, right? Next Thursday?
I assume it's next week.
Anybody know? Whatever.
Yes, next Thursday.
All right. Well,
27th.
happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. It's like American only thing, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Still, even if you're not in the United States,
Celebrate.
Yeah, use that moment to take pause and reflect. And, even though sky is falling in a lot of cases, right, there's still things to be thankful for, right?
Yeah,
Actually.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, just to maintain sanity.
Yeah.
It's good to keep that, locked in.
All right, guys. That is it for us. If you have any questions around the NAT token, or if you've discovered something really interesting in the crypto space, let us know in the comment section below. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll catch you in the next podcast.
Peace.